And it's our last interview for day one of AEGC. I'm having a great time here and I'm very excited. We've got an American, Heather Bedle from the University of Oklahoma. Welcome down under.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
It's going to be very fun. I'm very excited to talk to you today. So I hear this is your first time.
It is my first time in Australia. So I was so thrilled to get invited to be here and then to find out that they were going to pay for my airfare. It's kind of the cost of not to fly halfway across the world.
Yes.
So
can be a bit prohibitive at times, can it?
But I was able to bring one of my students, which made me really happy. So she was able to get a scholarship. So we got to come down here together to make sure we stay alive and we both come home.
That's brilliant. I love that. Stick together. Yeah, that's perfect.
Buddy system.
Yes, exactly. So are you going to be having some days to yourself, get a bit of exploring?
Yeah, we got to, I came in Sunday morning, so like a very long, like 7-day flight.
It just never ends, yes.
Never ending night. And then we came in Sunday morning, and of course we had to stay up till like 8 p.m., but we didn't make it that long to try to battle the jet lag. So I knew I was going to be jet lagged, so I scheduled a day, like those 2 days in the beginning and then a day at the end. But I didn't want to stay too long because my kids are at home, so let's get back to America.
So what are you going to do while you're here?
So we already did Rottnest Island.
Amazing.
Because I heard a lot about that, and you know, I'm a geologist, so I like being in nature.
Yes.
And so we went out there yesterday on the ferry and just spent the day walking around, looking at the quokka.
Yes, they're so adorable.
Trying to, you know, because it's like you go somewhere new and you're just like, you know, hey Google, like what's cool?
Yeah. And then a heap of selfies with everyone with the little smiley quokkas.
Yeah. And then you see all those quokkas and you're just like, are those real? Like I showed them to my parents and my mom was like, really? Like, because there was like one that showed up and the quokka's like,
you're like, this is
like, no way.
This AI. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to go see them, and there were some little baby ones, and we even saw, you know, like the tail of one. I guess it's not birthing season, but I don't know what the season is where the babies start kind of coming out of the pouch.
Yes.
So that was really cute.
Oh, that is really fun. Oh, I hope you have the best time here. And you are a very exciting keynote for AEGC.
I hope so.
Talking about active seismic and machine learning.
Yes.
What are some of the key takeaways that you hope everyone's taking from that?
Yeah, so I have been doing active seismic for 15 years or so. So no longer, 20 years. I'm just gonna say 20 years. Probably.
Sounds good.
So yeah, so I worked at Chevron for about a decade, and then I wanted to mentor students, particularly females. There's not a lot of females in geophysics, but I have a group with lots of males too. Yeah, you know, whoever.
Everyone can come. Yeah,
everybody could come to my group. Well, not everybody. I don't have that much money.
Not everyone. You've got to have numbers limits.
But so what I specialize in is seismic interpretation. So it's trying to see the patterns in the seismic data that geologists are interested in. So for energy, it may be looking for hydrocarbons. It could be reservoirs for carbon capture or geothermal. You know, energy. I'm really curious. One of the things I've heard a lot about here just in day one is mining, which isn't as big in the United States, and I'm not super familiar with it, but now like I really can't wait to go home to see how I could use seismic data and some of the particular methods, advanced methods I use for mining exploration. And so I'm just like, oh, I've got ideas. That's the best part of conferences is ideas.
100%,
so, yeah, so what they invited me here to talk about was thinking about machine learning. So in my group, we've been using machine learning since even before I was leading the group. So my predecessor started some machine learning work and I took it over when he retired. And we noticed, like, I mean, a lot of people are familiar with the large language models like ChatGPT and generative AI. What I use while I use those types of models, what I'm talking about is more of the statistical, multi-dimensional models, like convolutional neural networks, which are the image-based ones where you often see it with Google, like, is this a cat? Oh, I have the funniest, oh, I wish I had my computer, I'd show you. But it's like, is this a bagel or a dog?
Oh,
is
yes,
this a
yes,
chihuahua or a muffin?
Yeah.
And so they're like
trying to differentiate between that. Yeah.
And so we can do that with seismic data too. And there's all sorts of other methods, machine learning methods that we employ for characterizing the subsurface. But with machine learning, of course, comes downsides. So a lot of people think about machine learning as a black box where you throw all your inputs in and it does something and spits out an answer. And so what they invited me here to talk about was explainable AI, which there's a couple of different methods where you can look back into the black box. So look into the algorithm to try to understand exactly what's going on. I mean, maybe not exactly, but get some clues about how the algorithm's making a decision, because then you, as a geologic interpreter, can have maybe a little bit more confidence in what the machine learning algorithm's doing. Maybe you can explain more what's going on in that black box. Yeah. Because I think a lot of people get uncomfortable making like $100 million drilling decisions because the algorithm said so. Yes, that's true. So we want to be able to query what's going on.
Yes. Yeah. There is so much disruption in technology and machine learning. I'm curious what you're most excited about. What do you think's coming in the next decade?
Oh, that's a good question. So I am very excited about machine learning. I know a lot of people are like, oh, the robots are going to take over or we're going to be useless. Yeah. The talk I just gave, a few minutes ago, what do they call the moderator, she was like, oh, your talk was great because it made me realize that as a geologist, I still have importance. Yes. Because right now we can't get everything that we know as geologists into the algorithms. So I think some of these tools can speed up the mundane portions of work. They can allow us to do more quickly. We had at the university, one of our alumni came back and he had started a business where it's more generative AI, but you can load in like the old field reports that are handwritten, like the well was drilled at 10 p.m. and we noticed this and this, and it can use image AI to decipher what it is, and then it can go through, thousands of files way more quickly than we can. And, as long as you can kind of go back and be like, okay, well, why are you saying this? Oh, it's from that document. Okay, why are you saying that from that document? Then you can ground truth it. So I think it's going to let us take away some of the mundane. Yes. It's also great because you can make like crazy limericks for your mom just to make her laugh, which my kids do. Yes.
What are some of your favorite ones that you've seen?
I don't know. One of my kids once was, because they were trying to introduce my parents, who are in their 70s, to ChatGPT, and we were at their house, and my dad, of course, was like, oh, this is so dumb. And, my daughter, who was probably 11 at the time, was like, write a limerick about how grandma runs off with a really cute lumberjack. And my dad's like, is this what technology has come to?
That is brilliant.
Yeah, so it's pretty funny. And then like the image AI generators are great. I haven't played too much with the video ones, but it's always just, I don't know, like I find it fun and useful, of course. Yes. In different ways.
Definitely.
So we just gotta think about it and be aware.
Yes.
That a lot can be created with AI.
Yes, but definitely.
I'm hopeful about it still. I do worry about the energy usage of data centers, but since I'm in the energy industry, just the world needs more energy.
It does. We've got a lot of challenges ahead of us, don't we?
Yeah.
So I'm really curious what got you into geoscience to begin with.
So geoscience, it's interesting. So I think as a professor, this is my third career. And I always kind of joke with my students that I'm not sure it's my last career.
There you go.
But I started out with a degree in physics. So I was always very mathematically and science inclined. I like knowing exactly why things happen. So I ended up with my bachelor's in physics. Yep. And then I went to work in the defense industry. So I was doing radar systems, antenna designs. So this is with waves. Yep. Okay. And then it wasn't really my jam. Like I didn't really want to stay in the defense industry for, the next 50 years. So I decided to go back to school, so it's like this quarter life crisis of, okay, what do I do? I'd never taken a geology course. But I was like, well, I like being outside, and I guess rocks are cool, so I'll take a class at a community college, like a 2-year college. And then I went to interview at a nearby university near Chicago, Illinois, and I remember like just being like, well, why would you even want me here? And the professor was like, oh, it's so much easier to teach a physicist geology than a geologist physics. And so I ended up studying earthquakes because it was the same math.
Yes.
It was waveforms.
Yes.
And so then that ended up, like with me having a job in the petroleum industry with Chevron doing seismic reflection. And I love it because I always think about it as, like this mystery, like we're like detectives of the subsurface, like what's going on down there. And like, I remember one of the times when I saw one of my first images that was done by like an expert in the field, I was just like, you could see this channel system. And I was like, it's like what you would see from an airplane. And I was like, and that's under like 2 miles of rocks, or I don't know, 4 kilometers of rocks.
Yeah.
Like just so amazing of what's hidden beneath our feet. And so I've always kind of had this,
otherwise. Exactly.
Yeah. So I've always kind of had this, I guess, romantic idea of like the history is buried there for us to understand like how the earth has changed.
Yeah.
So,
that's
long story. That's how I got into geology.
So you hinted that you think it might not be your last. What do you
I don't
think
know.
is next? What are you looking for?
I have no idea.
Just open to experience. Yeah.
Like I always like to tell my students, you never know where the future is going to take you. Like I'm in my, getting to my late 40s. So, I still have like 20, 25 years left of a career, and I'm just like,
it's your oyster.
There's so much more to learn.
Yeah.
Like it's fun being an expert and people like asking you questions, but sometimes you get pigeonholed as an expert. So I love thinking about new things to do and new things to try. So I just keep doing more, I guess. So who knows where more will lead.
Nice. Well, I'll be watching along. Yes. I love that. And I hear that you may be a fellow YouTuber. Yes. Can we talk about this?
So my research group is ASPE. And one of the things I've realized as a professor is I get to teach students. Yeah. So University of Oklahoma, like my advanced classes may have, 15, 20 students in them. And so I realized I was limiting who I was able to talk to and teach. And so we had been recording videos for years in my research group. Like when a student gives a talk, we record it so we can send it out to sponsors, or we could reference it later on. And so I was like, well, we should put all these on YouTube. And then with the latest group of students who came in like a year ago, I was sitting around talking with them, and they were like, yeah, like we like these videos that you record of like different research projects. They're mostly like 15 to 20 minutes or so. And they were like, but man, like we would rather watch 15 1-minute videos than one 15-minute video. Yeah. And I was like, really? This is interesting to me, because I'm like, how do you say anything in 1 minute? Yeah. Even 2 minutes. And so, I have 2 kind of early teenage kids, or almost teenage kids. And of course they love YouTube and videos. And so I was like, this sounds like a fun project to learn how to communicate to a broader audience and maybe reach a broader audience, because, just because people can't come work with me doesn't mean they can't, I can't teach them, right?
Definitely.
So I, had already started the YouTube channel maybe a year before to put videos on, but then I was like, okay, let's have fun. So I went on sabbatical, and I was just in Oklahoma, but I challenged myself to record a lot of videos while I was on sabbatical. So I made a whole bunch of different series. I'm not saying they're good, but it was fun. So we publish journal articles. And so I went back for the last couple years, and for each journal article, I made a 2-minute TLDR, so 2 minutes too long, didn't read, video for the different articles. And I was like, okay, so now instead of reading the article, you can watch a 2-minute video and maybe get a sense of what's in it. Yeah. And so I put those up on LinkedIn. And then I was like, okay, well, I do a lot with what's called seismic attributes. So I went through and I was like, okay, let me try to make, 5 to 7 minute videos explaining them. And then I was like, okay, well, now let me try to make 2-minute videos to explain them. So, I was just, had a lot of fun trying to learn how to communicate in different ways. Yeah.
So that would really push, like that's a very big difference, like especially once you're editing and getting used to it, it's like those minutes are
and
huge.
I mean, I'll be honest, like I haven't even gotten to the editing part so much. Like I kind of set up with a webcam and my PowerPoint slides, you know, because I'm just a professor, it's what I do. And then I try to, you know, minimal editing, so they're not crazy yet. But we'll see over time. I just got a new student who's really into social media and videos. And so I may like try to, work with her to be like, okay, so how would we make a very interactive, like all those stuff popping up.
All the engagement. Exactly.
All the engagement on like a really complicated topic.
Yes.
So that might be something I try in the future. But it's been fun and it's interesting because like I go to conferences and people are like, oh, I watched your course because I also recorded my course and put it on YouTube too.
That's very cool.
And I've had people at companies be like, oh yeah, we watched your video on karsts in our team meeting and then we talked about how to use some of your techniques on our data. Or, I have students who are like, oh, I have the worst professor and I don't understand what he's talking about, but you have that video on the same topic. So now I understand it because I listened to the way you did it. So it's been fun.
Good communicator. I love this.
And I just, in my videos, I'm just like laughing and messing up.
Yeah.
Just like whatever.
It's good to have fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your channel called?
Well, it's just the ASPI YouTube channel.
ASPI.
AASPI.
AASPI.
Yeah.
Well, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
It has been brilliant chatting to you today. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit with me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.